Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Gauranga Gauranga Nityananda Gauranga 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 Nityananda Gauranga 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 Nityananda Gauranga 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 Nityananda Gauranga. Good morning. Okay. Jesus Prabhupada, 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 Jesus Prabhupada. Jesus Prabhupada, 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 Jesus Prabhupada. Jesus Prabhupada, 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 Jesus Prabhupada. Jesus Prabhupada, Jesus Prabhupada, Jesus Prabhupada, Jesus Prabhupada, Jesus Prabhupada, Jesus Prabhupada. Shri Advaita Nityananda, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Shri Advaita Nityananda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Shri Advaita Nityananda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Shri Advaita Nityananda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Shri Advaita Nityananda, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, 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 Nityananda, Nityananda, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Nityananda, Nityananda, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Nityananda, 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 Nityananda. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, good morning. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, 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 Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, 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 Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Nityananda, 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 Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Nityananda, Nityananda, Gauranga, Gauranga, Nityananda, Nityananda, Gauranga, Gaurachandra. Nityananda, Nityananda, Gaurachandra, 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 Nityananda, Nityananda, Gaurachandra, Gaurachandra, Nityananda, Nityananda, Gaurachandra, Gaurachandra, Nityananda, Nityananda, Gaurachandra, 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 Nityananda, Nityananda, Chandra Gora Chandra Nityananda 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 Gora Chandra Gora Chandra Nityananda Nityananda Gora Chandra Gora Chandra Nityananda Nityananda Gora Chandra Nityananda Nityananda Gora Chandra Nityananda Nityananda, Nityananda, Gaurachandra, Gaurachandra, 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 Nityananda, 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 Gaurachandra, Gaurachandra, Nityananda, Nityananda, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, 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 Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, 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 Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Nityananda, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Gauranga, Gauranga, Gauranga. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Sri Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gora Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Sri Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gora Bhakta Vrinda. Chaitanya Charitamrita. Chapter 7 in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Lord Chaitanya in 5 features.
Which Leela Maharaj?
In Hari Leela. Hari Leela. Yeah. Text number 1. Let me first offer my respectful obeisances unto Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the ultimate goal of life for one bereft of all possessions in this material world, and is the only meaning for one advancing in spiritual life. Thus, let me write about his magnanimous contribution of devotional service and love of God. Let me offer glorification to the Supreme Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, one who has taken shelter of his lotus feet as most glorified person. Okay, you can read there a little bit, River.
Did you say chapter 7, Maharaj?
Let's see, chapter.
Adi Leela.
Yeah, is it chapter? Let's see, come on. Oh, I see. Yeah, it's chapter 7.
Okay.
Yeah,
Chapter
verse
7.
number 2. You can start with.
Number 2. Chapter 7. Number 2. Okay. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay. Let me offer my glorification. There's an echo, Maharaj.
Okay, yeah, I'll take care of that.
Let me offer my glorification to the Supreme Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. One who has taken shelter of his lotus feet is the most glorified person. In the beginning, I have discussed the truth about the spiritual master. Now I shall try to explain the Panchatattva. These five tattvas.
Oh, yeah, wait, don't do it. Yeah, I just wanted to say, yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. One thing about wealth, this is the thing about, see, material wealth is very hard to get, and like people are glorified when they're wealthy. You notice people in the world, like, the famous people, that's part of the plan of Maya is Maya makes people wealthy and then they become glorified. Oh, this person has so much. That's like chapter 12 of the Srimad Bhagavatam talks about this age of Kali. People become respected because of how much wealth they have. See? So this verse said those who have taken shelter of Lord Chaitanya's feet are the most glorified persons. See? This is real wealth. We're just overturning the tables. People are in ignorance of this kind of wealth. They don't know you become fabulous. It is fabulous. It is true wealth. Is taking shelter of Lord Chaitanya's feet and feeling our affection and attraction to the source of everything. See? So people, they get money as well. They think money is wealth, and people who in the Maya, they also think, oh, this person's wealthy, therefore they should be glorified. They should be respected. They should be listened to. They should be obeyed. See how Maya gets you? They offer these people, we'll make you famous, we'll make you do this. This is the illusion. It's like the devil in these movies. They show you these movies. The devil offers people some kind of wealth, and they go for it because of greed, like this. Yeah, because people think that's wealth. So our mission is to show what true wealth is, to cut right through the Maya, the illusion, and show that the true wealth is the Lord Himself. That's those people. That's why those who have taken shelter of the Lord's feet, Lord Chaitanya's feet, they get everything. That talk about, they get real respect, but not from people in the world right away, because people in the world are attached to which is the illusion of wealth, is this material manifestation. See, that's illusion. It comes and goes. It's temporary. It's not really wealthy. Isn't real wealth? Wouldn't you think real wealth is something enduring? Even people are looking for this, like especially now in finances, people are looking, where's a safe haven for a wealth where it won't disappear? And the people are having a hard time finding it. I'm finding, I see even in financial aspects, people are looking, where's a safe haven? Where can I put my money where it won't disappear? Because people are always, and the government's stealing it. They're going right in people's safe deposit boxes. In American Beverly Hills, the wealthy are getting their wealth taken away. They went right in the bank and opened up all the boxes and took everything in there. The government. Even in America, can you imagine? See, this is the wealth. This is why Jesus taught, don't store your wealth where moth and dust corrupt. See, he knew, and that's why that's real wealth. Now, that's why those who worship Jesus, I mean, really sincerely, not hypocritically or like trying to take advantage of people and stuff like that. No, from a sincere heart of surrender, in following the process, the universal process of worship, which is surrendering to the Lord's and the Lord's devotees. That applies to all applications of the highest truth. See, that's out of the material illusion. Everybody, Maya gets people by getting you to surrender to those who are not truly wealthy. See, this stuff, Bill Gates with all that money, people listen to him. This is why these people are where they're at, is they've got all this wealth and it's been given to them by the illusory potency. And this is how they get name and fame in the world. Even you look at gurus now. You look at gurus, if they have the highest seats, if they have some kind of symbol of wealth, they have big temples, they're in charge of a big temple, and people think, oh, this person's really wealthy. See, but the real wealth are those who have taken shelter of Lord Caitanya, especially because I tell you, from my own personal experience, there is no one else who gives advancement in spiritual life so easily. This is why it says he's the only meaning. Lord Caitanya is the only meaning for advancing in spiritual life. Everything else is so hard and so difficult. There is no other meaning. If you really want to advance in spiritual life, if you really want spiritual experiences, if you really want to taste what people taste in the spiritual world beyond all the coverings of the universe, if you want to have eternal wealth that never runs out, this is a relationship with Lord Chaitanya, which means ultimately Radha and Krishna. They're the ultimate wealth. That's why they come into this world, to show us what real wealth is. Real wealth is this relationship, this transcendental, loving, ecstatic relationship. This is anybody that tastes even a particle of that finds out what real purification is. Because spiritual life, to advance in spiritual life means purification, and there's no higher purification than loving the Lord, loving relations with the Lord. That's, you experience that. People sit in meditation on candles and everything else other than Lord Caitanya. See, or by the mantra, and they're very hard to advance. You can sit in a cave. There are people, Buddhists, they sit in caves. They get some mystic powers sometimes from their meditation. They get everything, but real spiritual advancement. See? Real spiritual advancement, really, ultimately, all things that we do is leading to bhakti. leading to love for God. That's it. It's all the scriptures proclaim that even. Love of God. What is the greatest commandment? Love thy God with all thy heart, all thy mind, and all thy soul. But that's commandment, that's not really how it is, but it just shows you that is the greatest thing that you can ever accomplish in this world is love of God. Life's ultimate goal, love of God. See chapter 23, Majja Lila. This is the greatest wealth. It lasts forever, and people don't know that in the world. They don't even teach it in religion. They teach, the greatest wealth is rules, regulations, and ceremonies. Come on, man. That's not really conclusive. Even though Prabhupada may have said it. He said, well, Prabhupada said that. Well, Ramananda Roy also said that, didn't he? Didn't he say that in the conversation with Lord Caitanya? Lord Caitanya said, what is the greatest wealth, basically? But he said, what is the ultimate goal? Ultimate goal must be the ultimate wealth, right? So what is life's ultimate goal, and what is the means to attain it? Life's ultimate, Varnashram Dharma. You follow the order. This is the perfection of life. See? So Prabhupada may have said that, and actually, he probably said the love of God, but he was teaching Varnashram. But Ramananda Roy started the conversation like that. And what did Lord Chaitanya say? Like what Gaurahari follows in his footsteps and says, that's external bhakti. Let us get into some deeper topics. Let's go and find out what is the real pearl of great price. What is the real jewel? Even Jesus did the same thing. Come on, let's go deeper. What do you think? Life is all about fasting and following the rules that Moses set down? No, there's something deeper. Spirit and truth. Worshiping God in spirit and truth. Yeah, it's the greatest wealth. And you see, one is most glorified person, even though in the material world, with people with material consciousness, they don't consider this wealth. But we're here to establish that. Most glorified person. So, you notice people, they come and they hear from a person who has taken shelter of Lord Caitanya, right? And those who hear and get purified, they glorify that person. Like you glorify your guru. Oh, my Guru Dev, he's doing this, he's doing this. Oh, I'm getting so much from this. Oh, he's such a glorious person. Don't you do that naturally from your heart? But you see that came from purification. That came from, because we're polluted, our consciousness is contaminated and polluted by associating with people who are glorifying the material energy. That's called material conditioning. See, and this causes us to become unattracted to real wealth. See, but we change everything here. See, that is our work here. If we do it by play. I mean, I really like this. I just like, to me, it's playing a board game like Scrabble or something, or Monopoly. Yeah, Monopoly. See, Monopoly is about how to become wealthy, right? Oh yeah, this is a Monopoly game. You stack your hotels and your houses on one side, and we'll stack Krishna on the other side, and we'll show you what real wealth is. People need to know this, but you can't know this until you have this wealth. See, that's the secret. That's why these gurus, that's why the gurus, the religious gurus on religion, they cannot promote this. They have to promote something lesser, varnashram dharma and rules and regulatives and fastings and that kind of stuff that people like get, after a while they get like, hey man, come on, is there any real bread around here? Where's this bread of life? If you're coming to Krishna, obviously something deep inside, do you really want Krishna? Well, you got to know who Krishna is, really. Krishna is not a rule. He's a ruler, see? And he rules people by loving relations. That's the ultimate truth. This is what people don't know. They think, no, Krishna is a external rule to follow. No, he's a ruler, and he rules by loving relations. That's the ultimate truth. That's where Varnashram Dharma is going. That's where Vaidhi Bhakti is going. You got to learn about the ruler. He rules by loving relations. That's the ultimate truth. That's conclusive. That's where this is going. That's where this Sangha is going. See? So you are in touch with the ruler. All rules and regulations are subject to the ruler. See? Subjects. See? The king has its subjects, and rules, regulations are all under his control, all under his rule. See? So you can be ruled by the rules, but that's external. See, you don't really know the real mind of the master. Well, that real mind of the master is here to be revealed now in our Sangha. How to be ruled by loving relationship with the Lord. That's freedom, man. That's sovereignty. But you'll never achieve sovereignty, true sovereignty, unless you're back in loving relations with God, the Supreme Lord, who is above all the modes of nature and just draws us naturally above the modes of nature where he is, so he can play with us finally. He's just waiting to play, man. Isn't Vrindavan a play? Aren't the cowherd boys playing all the time? What is that? What's that metaphor about? How to play with God, man. That's the idea. You come in disciplic line with a real spiritual master who plays with the Lord and shows you they're not putting on some pretentious show. Some pomp, something like you see in the Vatican with all these guys with robes, and then they go out there, smoke their cigarettes, and sit in their fancy cars. That's not really the truth. Or you go to Mayapur and you see all these brahmacharis with building. You go to Mayapur and go and rent an apartment or buy an apartment. You see a brahmachari come out with all the money they took off and siphoned off of that big Mayapur project coming from that big rich guy for all these brand new motorcycles. That's called religion, my friends. Has it ever changed? Is it any different? Is it different because it's a Vaishnava? That the religion is no. It's the what do you call the symptoms of what is religion? You think more about money, more about big temples to impress people, so they come in and give big donations. Religion. Don't they do it in Christianity, don't they? They do it in Vaishnavism. See? So who's their ruler? Still Maya. Even Jesus called them out. These Pharisees said, we follow rules, and we're rulers. We rule people with lots of rules and regulations, lots of mandates. We're the teachers of the world. We're the sons of Moses, sons of God. And Jesus said, no, you're the sons of Maya still, the devil, he called it. See? You're still sons of the devil, man. Here you become a son of God, right? You become a true son of God, a true representative of the spiritual potency of life that gives light in this world. Inclusive truth, man, and ecstatic love. How would you like to be ruled by that? See? That's what Jesus brought to the world, started the ball rolling. That's where Lord Caitanya continued rolling that same ball. And we are out there pushing also on that same ball, so it gathers more moss and people for the kingdom. So we can make progress in my Lord's desire and your Lord's desire to fill the whole universe with love of God, so people can be maintained and purified by loving relationships with the Lord. And they don't need Bill Gates to tell them what to do and tell them to go jump off a cliff, and they do it. People don't know where real wealth is. Real wealth is in this Sangha. This Sangha is fabulously wealthy with love of Krishna. And prove it every day. And these guys are all poor from all these gurus and everything. They can't even show that they got any wealth. What, your wealth is how many followers you got? Because you teach them, that you represent Krishna, and then you really can't give them Krishna. All you can give them is the wealth of becoming a sannyas or a Brahmin. There's nothing to a devotee. Loving relations with God is everything. The world needs to know that, needs to be shown that. You got to demonstrate that. You got to demonstrate that you represent love of Krishna in this world. Otherwise, you're no real guru, man. You're still a servant of Maya. Those obstacles in the form of demons are still holding you back from the real Vrindavan. That's why it says only love is the ruler of Krishna. Loving relations, it draws Krishna, it attracts Krishna to this world. Mm. So, what do you think, Tom?
Yes, is if they are really going to feel this their wealthy position, they will feel there are some deficits. It's not that kind of wealth has deficits. It's not complete. But I am empathizing with their position. I feel they are not. If they have all the wealth, all the money, all the space, there is something lacking. They feel there is something lacking. That's what I feel.
Yeah, that's why. See, that's why there's something lacking, and they're trying to fill that void. And it doesn't matter how much money you get, how much power you obtain in this world. It's all about the body and identification with the body, but that's not the real us. It'll never be fulfilled. You'll never have enough power. That's why we have these stories. You have Hiranyakashipu. He didn't just take over one world like here. He took over the whole universe. He took over heaven. He was the ruler over all the planets, and he was still unhappy. That's why these stories and metaphors just teach us. Like you can go after that. You spend your whole life going after some kind of wealth and power and all that stuff. And all you get is you're unhappy, and your subjects are unhappy. They'll be unhappy too. You notice people have their rulers in the world, and that so the grossest level is you have politicians, worldly people with worldly motives to to use you even as a resource, and you find out ultimately they don't care about you because they can't. They're an illusion. People just look at people like material objects to be used. That's bodily conception. You become a demon when you think deeply like that. These people that are ruled by the like Bill Gates and Fauci's and George Soros and everything, they don't care anything about their subjects. Nothing. They want to just use them as a resource and then they get rid of them. Now that's the lesson to the living entity that you're ruler there. That Maya is not trying to do you a good turn. She never does. That's what illusion is. You go after the wrong thing as the right thing. You go off after the wrong path as the right path. And that's the lesson. I mean, we've all done stuff like that. That's what Maya confuses everything. See, we're really fortunate to not mislead people. People could say anything. Oh, Gohar, you're this, you're that, yeah. But I'm not misleading you. I'm telling you where to go, man. And you guys when you attain that destination, when you attain this loving relation with Krishna, everybody says, this is fantastic. This is what I've been looking for. See? None of these people can say that, either the rulers or their followers, their subjects. Here you can, because you see this is reality. This is the truth. The truth will set you free. Look how many people are being set free here now. Because, I may have many external faults and everything, but I'm taking you to the truth, man, so that you can experience the truth yourself like I do. You can experience what real wealth is like I do. Now that's win-win. If you're under the Maya, you can't do that. If you're in religion, you can't do it. That's why Krishna says, abandon it and surrender to me, which is the truth. Conclusive understanding of everything. So you're directed properly and not in some level of improperly directed. Yeah. So, those who take shelter of Lord Caitanya are most glorified. In those who are real devotees just naturally do that. You'll see it here. You are already seeing here. You see people here that are probably from their previous lifetimes where the seeds of truth were sowed, and they come here and they can see, oh, this is a really wonderful place. Oh, wow, this guru is really helping me. Wow, I really feel like all these spiritual experiences. That's what you're supposed to be, experience with a real guru. Now, some people, new people, they come and they need to go through some purification to get that. Okay, but they're increasingly encouraged if they stick it out. They're not one of these, because we're sowing the word of truth, man, inclusive truth into people's hearts. Sometimes it goes in there and springs up with great joy, like Jesus said, the word of the kingdom. This is the kingdom of God. The real guru gives you the real word that sprouts the kingdom of God, which is this loving relations with the Lord. Verb, not noun, verb. It's not a place you get, okay, now we can just sit down and just enjoy paradise. No, it's a place of activity, man. What's Vrindavan? You see people doing stuff, right? They're engaging in loving relations, a verb. They're adjective verbs, not nouns. That noun comes along with the verb. Most glorified person. That's such a great verse because it's so true. And only a person that actually has a real, genuine relationship with the Lord, like the person wrote that book, he had that with Lord Caitanya and the devotees, and the person now who has to speak and glorify those verses as they are. And then they act because Radharani's in your heart, man. Devotion's in your heart. And she likes conclusive truth. She likes to hear, yes, yes. That's when you stand up for that, that means you're getting it. She's revealing, the Bhakti's revealing herself to you and how glorious Bhakti is. Go ahead there, River, read on.
Okay. Text 3. In the beginning, I've discussed the truth about the spiritual master. Now I shall try to explain the Pancha Tattva. These 5 tattvas incarnate with Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu, and thus
Yeah, so see, by the mercy of Krishna, you get guru. You get a guru who will teach you the confidential message of the Vedas, which is Chaitanya Charitamrita teachings. See, that's why it's the first chapter. You notice? First chapter. Now I shall teach you about the Panchatattva. See, by the mercy of Guru, you get understanding of the Panchatattva. See? You get understanding of Lord Caitanya and Nityananda and all the devotee relationships. See, it's leading progressively somewhere. But if you're not taught the confidential message of this Chaitanya Charitamrita and the Radha Krishna Leela, you're not taught the confidential message, which is Guru Tattva to begin with, and you don't understand that. What kind of guru are you? These gurus cannot teach Guru Tattva by being that kind of guru. Therefore, they don't know, and their followers don't know. The blind leading the blind. Until you understand Guru Tattva, that first chapter, Chaitanya Charitamrita, you cannot make any real spiritual advancement. You might say, well, didn't they do this with Prabhupada? Didn't they get this? No, they didn't get it because they went and jumped up to the same position as Prabhupada without authority. They can speculate on what, oh, well, Prabhupada said that we had to, yeah, really? Yeah, well, you still haven't proved it yet. You're speculating on that. So, like I say, yeah, I got Prabhupada's order to do this. But that's not enough because I can lie, I can speculate, I can cheat you like these guys I see they've done. You know why? Because they didn't get the order to actually bring people to the next platform of devotion to Krishna. But we have. So you can see this order I got is true, and theirs is just bullshit. This is the big fat speculation and lie because they're hungry for power, hungry for followers and adoration and distinction. Look at they're 25 friggin' years old. What kind of guru is that? Just barely around for a while, then all of a sudden they're Guru Devs, deliverers of the universe. Come on, wake up, you guys. You say Prabhupada gave you the order. Well, where's the proof is in the pudding? Where's the pudding, man? Where's the result of you being authorized by the parampara? Because Prabhupada can't defend himself. Now say you're all full of bullshit. They'll say it over here through this Gaur Haridas. You're full of bullshit, man. Because what have you done? Who has got ecstatic devotion? Who understands Lord Caitanya? Who understands Lord Chaitanya's Leela? Only here. Here you understand Guru Tattva because you were examples of a real disciples following Guru Tattva. And the Lord is very pleased. And when the Lord is pleased, He's given you Himself so that you can relish these transcendental relationships. So if you're ready to wake up, you'll listen to good sound logic. Otherwise, go to sleep. Go out there. Stay asleep. Stay blind. Go follow your fearful leaders who are afraid that some virus is going to attack them. Or they get paid off by the government and they get you to go and put poison in your arm. Who knows? Who cares? You should care. Because I don't care about that. You should care about your spiritual life. Who could lead you into the kingdom of God? They got to be there themselves. They got to be a real resident of Vrindavan, otherwise they can't take you there. They can't take you to a place they haven't been or they're not living in now. They have to say the same kind of bhav and relations that those devotees have. Ecstatic, intense love for Krishna. And that shows in chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra with intimacy and ecstasy. If you can't do that, you're not a resident of Vrindavan. If you cannot show that, you're cheating the public. You're probably not a real guru. Unless you're really just hiding it, and all that they say you do, but I don't believe it. I think most, 99% of those people saying that are bluffing you. And any disciple looking for the kingdom of Krishna, and you say you really want Krishna, you should start asking questions now. Why do you want to follow somebody for you idolizing? You're idolizing a person and getting no result for it. That's called idol worship. You're sitting in idol. You got a car, your body. You're here in this world. You're here to become self-realized, to realize the real self and this level of loving relations. And you're sitting in your car and idling. You're not moving anywhere. That's idol worship. You're idling your time. Your guru can't deliver you to that level of consciousness because they're not there themselves. You cannot become conscious of Krishna. You cannot become Krishna conscious or conscious of Krishna without somebody who is conscious of Krishna because of ecstatic devotion awakened in their heart. Just simple logic. Stuff you don't hear from blind people, deaf people. Your gurus are blind and deaf, most of them. They're in religion. See, I've abandoned religion. I don't believe in religion. I don't believe in motivated religious leaders. Not even the Bhagavatam believes in it. The real Bhagavatam isn't promoted by those kinds of persons. Even the Bhagavatam's trying to defend itself. Well, people don't hear, so Gohar shouts that message. Materially motivated religious leaders cannot preach the real truth of Bhagavatam. We can because it's uncompromised. Then we get results. People get the real shelter. You see, it goes right up. Go ahead, River, read on.
Okay. These 5 tattvas incarnate with Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu, and thus the Lord executes his Sankirtan movement with great pleasure. Spiritually, there are no differences between these 5 tattvas, for on the transcendental platform, everything is absolute. Yet, there are also varieties in the spiritual world, and in order to taste these spiritual varieties, one should distinguish between them. Sorry, Maharaj, just turning this off. Okay, let me offer my obeisances to Lord Sri Krishna, who has manifested himself in five as a devotee, expansion of a devotee, incarnation of a devotee, pure devotee, and devotional energy. Krishna, the reservoir of all pleasure, is the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself, the Supreme Controller. No one is greater than or equal to Sri Krishna. Yet, he appears as the son of Maharaj Nanda. Lord Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead,
Oh, yeah.
is
Wait. It's just way too fast, man. Read those 3 verses again, slowly.
spiritually, there are no differences between these tattvas. For on the transcendental platform, everything is absolute. Yet, there are also varieties in the spiritual world. And in order to taste these spiritual varieties, one should distinguish between them. Let me offer my obeisances unto Lord Sri Krishna, who has manifested himself in 5 as a devotee, expansion of a devotee, incarnation of a devotee, pure devotee, and devotional energy. Krishna, the reservoir of all
Wait. Read the purport of that one.
the one I just read.
Yes. The one you just read, you finished.
Okay. Sri Nityananda Prabhu is the intimate expansion of Sri Krishna, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and his brother. So, Sri Nityananda Prabhu is the immediate expansion of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his brother. He is the personified spiritual bliss of Satchit Ananda Vigraha. His
See,
body,
okay. So, yeah, he's the brother, see, very intimate associate of the Lord from the topmost expansion, like from Krishna, the second expansion of that. That's our parampara start. That's why you see Nityananda came with Lord Chaitanya, just like Krishna came with Balaram. See? So the immediate expansion. And so that's how they became devotees because of Lord Chaitanya being here and Nityananda being here. And also Radha being here and Krishna being here. So that was in the form of the Lord himself. He's Radha and Krishna combined, Lord Chaitanya. And the immediate expansion in servitude and friendship is Balaram. So Balaram also, or Nityananda. Nityananda had followers. Some people followed Lord Chaitanya. If they followed Lord Chaitanya, often they were in the mood of the conjugal. If they followed Nityananda, they were often in the mood of friendship and servitude. Be like this, because that was his relationship with the Lord. They learned that relationship from such an expansion, a devotee. So our lines start like that through Nityananda, like this. But then the Lord, they also had followers who followed them both. They had a natural relationship with Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda. They had that very deep thing. So the Lord had followers like that. Yeah. See, and so anyway, the real devotee, you learn about this incarnation, Nityananda. That's why you have to have the real spiritual master, because they're empowered version of that. They also are brothers with Krishna. Very friendly relation, like this, very intimate with the Lord. See, otherwise you will not understand Nityananda in that relationship unless it's before you in the form of the spiritual master in the parampara. Then you see, people are like children. First you got to be born, right? You're born of father and mother. See, father and mother are in the spiritual master. See, that principle there. See, love of God. You got the conclusive truth, and you got the ecstatic love of the mother. See, the father and mother principle are in there because they're the real representatives of that transcendental Lord, that where the lines actually start. See, so you'll never know about Nityananda in that intimate relationship, unless you meet a bona fide spiritual master. Chapter 1, Adi Lila. That's how we learn these. You got to see. You got to just admit your position, just a baby. A lot of people, sometimes they come here and they think they're so grown up, and they're just babies. You're just a baby. You have to learn. You have to learn from your father and mother. Don't think, the baby sometimes think, oh, I also know so much about everything, spiritual life. So actually, as you're making advancement, you see you really don't. You really see you have to get purified to do that, to learn, before you can even play on the same level with the spiritual master. Like a lot of times people, they want to jump in there and be friends first without getting purified. And then they take in their false ego into the relationship. It doesn't work. It's a matter of purification. So those who want these very deep relations, they have to follow the process, trust the process. Really listen good to the teachings. See? Read that chapter 1 deeply, meditate on it, pray about it. Chapter 1, Adi Lila. How to enter into this. You enter into it by being a servant of the Guru. You got to see yourself as a servitor. See? And then you enter into more friendly relations that way. See? And then that will be solid in you. See? That's real proof of real growth. And that comes from purification. Hearing really attentively these, how to really enter into this transcendental stuff. When will I be absolute? When will I be absolute? Well, yeah, that's when you want to represent the absolute, that takes the purification. You have to develop this intimacy with the Lord, and it expunges all the conditioning out of it. See, where you represent it. Otherwise, it doesn't, you're not considered absolute. That's why people put the pictures of their gurus who are often mundane on the altar. Well, what do you mean? The altar is meant for the absolute, those who are on that level, of the same quality. They have the ecstasy of God, of Krishna, and the love of Krishna, and the conclusive understanding that comes from that love. It's matured. Yeah, put those precursors on the altar. Otherwise, those who are worshipped, they take the poison in and then they get corrupted. Just like people, they take material opulence and they become corrupted when they get it before they're purified, and then they be corrupted by the opulences. When you get the opulences of being a spiritual master and a acharya, but you're not really qualified, you get corrupted. There's nothing you can do about it. You're drinking poison. You can't handle the poison. Even the demigods, there was the ocean of milk was being churned, and a lot of poison was coming out. See, that poison are these opulences, like name and fame and stuff like that. And the demigods didn't want to touch it because they knew they would get polluted. So they called Shiva. Shiva, you can do this. You got the power, man. You're a pure devotee. You have ecstatic love. You can drink this poison. Don't have anything else. That's what destroyed the Gaudiya moth. Bhaktisiddhanta could handle that poison of being such a guru because he had bhakti, real bhakti. But his disciples, they went out and did a mundane thing. The disciples, after the departure of Bhaktisiddhanta, they went out and voted in an acharya, not just a guru, an acharya. And then everybody started to have the name acharya. And Prabhupada never liked this, and he made comments on it like I do. Because guru is one, the truth is one. He said they shouldn't have appointed an acharya. Acharya is transcendental, appointed by Krishna. They arise by the will of Krishna. You could see this person is empowered, not voted in. You don't vote in a Jesus, and that's what you're doing when you vote in an acharya. Because if you're not like Jesus and you can't deliver your disciples by awakening the spirit of bhakti, what kind of an acharya are you? What kind of, you've got to be like that. See, that people say, oh, you Gore, are you just trying to be like Jesus? Well, you've got to be like Jesus, otherwise you're not a real guru. Didn't Jesus awaken the Holy Spirit? Just look at the logical case. Did he awaken the Holy Spirit in people? In 11 people? Does Gohari, by his association and teaching, doesn't the Holy Spirit awaken in people? See? Same job, right? Guru is one. People, even in Christianity, they're not clear about Guru Tattva. You're not a real representative of Jesus Christ unless you awaken the Holy Spirit in people. See, because Jesus did, right? But Prabhupada wasn't working on that level. I don't know how many people really got the spirit of devotion. Maybe 1, 2, maybe. It wasn't that level yet. It was more of a Moses level. See? We're showing that the empowerment is here. I don't need no degree on the wall. I don't need a PhD. All we need is the truth and the empowerment, the real love of Krishna, the love of God is the power to show the real qualification and teach the real truth, teach where the real path is, teach where the real door is. Okay? That is what's needed. That's why we start from scratch also, like all these real acharyas. We don't need any props here. All we need is the truth. All we need is true, genuine, ecstatic worship of Krishna. And that's all here, and that's why it works. We don't have thousands of people here because thousands of persons they're not ready for this. How many real, sincere followers did Jesus have? He had 11, mainly. Go ahead, River. Read it.
Okay. His body is transcendental and full of ecstasy in devotional service. Sri Chaitanya
The real guru, the real representative, you should be asking these questions. Is his body full of ecstasy? Is his body transcendental because it's full of ecstasy? Is his mind full of truth? Is his mouth full of truth? Do you get that truth into your ears? Does it cause changes in you? Are you feeling uplifted and purified? Are your miseries going away by hearing such truth? Is it dispelling your ignorance and your stupidity and the lies that you've taken on as truth? Yeah, that's the power of the real guru. That's the power of somebody in the Panchatattva, like representing the Panchatattva there. Like Srivas represented the bona fide spiritual master part. See, they're all absolute, and that's the kind of connection you're going to get. You get that through the real spiritual master. Otherwise, how are you going to know the real nature of Nityananda and Lord Caitanya and Radha and Krishna? Only they know. Only you can know through them. That's what Jesus taught. The Father knows the Son knows the Father, and the Son can reveal the Father to whom he chooses. Otherwise, you're not going to know. You can't understand what they understand, except if you get the mercy of Guru. If you're not worshiping the Lord in loving, ecstatic relationship, which is very pure, that's that prema bhakti, which I guarantee you 99.9% of the Vaishnavas aren't at this time. Prove me wrong. You show me even one that can come up here and prove that they got it. Okay? Then you have to go through the real devotee. Yeah, to learn these things. Go ahead, River.
Okay. Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is therefore called Bhakta Rupa, the form of a devotee. And Sri Nityananda Prabhu is called Bhakta Svarupa, the expansion of a devotee. Sri Advaita Prabhu, the incarnation of a devotee, is Vishnu Tattva and belongs to the same category. There are also different types of actors or devotees on the platform of neutrality, servitude, friendship, parenthood, and conjugal love. Devotees like Damodar, Sri Gadadhar, and Sri Ramananda are different energies. This confirms the Vedic Sutra, I can't say that, Parasaya Sakta Vividvaha Shriyate. All these bhaktas, subjects taken together, all these bhaktas subjects taken together constitute Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna himself. The end.
Yeah, so the various devotees, they take. You see, the original is Radha and Krishna, and that was in the form of Lord Chaitanya. He was the combined form of love of Krishna. So he had that love of Radha inside, and also he was worshiping Krishna, by conclusive verses and the name and stuff like that. You see, and so the various devotees just naturally take shelter. Oh, and the expansion. See, the expansion of Lord Chaitanya was Nityananda, okay, and Advaita. And so those who were in, like, maybe not in the conjugal relation would be more attracted to Nityananda or Advaita, because they have another kind of relationship with the Lord. So they would go gravitate. That's why the Lord has expansions. And that's why ultimately the original is considered the most high, the most deepest relationship is the conjugal. See, because it comes from Radha and Krishna, which Lord Chaitanya represented. See, he represents a conjugal, and so otherwise the friendship and servitude and also kind of a parental would come through more like Nityananda. Nityananda. So they had the various devotees would come. It makes the Leela very colorful. That's why it's beautiful to read this Leela because there's a lot of color to it. You have all these different transcendental persons. That's why when you make the connection with a real guru, very quickly you get purified and you become attracted to the Leela. You get this attraction to what is transcendental, and then this becomes your life and soul. The river is a good example of that. You know, her life and soul, she loves the Leela, it gives her energy. Go ahead. Did you want to say something there?
Are you saying that the Panchtattva are relative to the five bars, like conjugal love and friendship? Are you relating the Panchtattva to that?
Yeah. That's it. Yeah, it's generally, yeah. There's some were followers of Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya. You know, they just like them both. You know, just relish the happiness of both. But generally, well, you know, it could be. It was some who were really interested. They loved Lord Chaitanya's mood. See, Lord Chaitanya got into the bhav of the conjugal, and he was really promoting that just naturally from his worship. He wanted to show that, demonstrate that, and those who had that natural attraction to the conjugal would gravitate towards that. See? But those who had more attraction to the friendship and servitude would be more like naturally attracted to Nityananda. Although they liked them both, they would also see that kind of position in Lord Chaitanya. They wouldn't necessarily be visualizing and relishing the conjugal of Lord Chaitanya, but they relished their position as serving Lord Chaitanya. Govinda was an example of that, it looks like. He relished the being a servant of Lord Chaitanya, that relationship, but not necessarily the conjugal. So different devotees have different relationships with the Lord. This is you can see here. It's manifesting. Usually, the conjugal has the deepest prema in it, the deepest ecstasy. That's how it's signed. You can see those kind of devotees are usually the most ecstatic. As you see even here, there's certain devotees that are excessively ecstatic. It's usually a symptom of the conjugal. That's why it's very attractive, especially if that's your natural thing. And very powerful. When you're around devotees like that, oh man, very powerful. Yeah, go ahead, read on. You can read the next verse now. That's enough.
Okay. Krishna. Sorry, I was just checking. Krishna, the reservoir of all pleasure, is the spiritual personality of Godhead himself, the supreme controller. No one is greater or equal to Sri Krishna, yet he appears as the son of Maharaj Nanda. Lord Sri Krishna, the supreme personality of Godhead, is the supreme enjoyer in the rasa dance. He is the leader of the dance of Raj.
It's
And
difficult
all.
to hear because of the echo.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, I read it again. Lord Sri Krishna, the supreme personality of Godhead, is the supreme enjoyer in the rasa dance. He is the leader of the damsels of Raj, and all others are simply his associates. The self-same Lord Krishna invented himself as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with all his eternal associates, who are also equally glorious.
Yeah, this is the thing. Lord Krishna is the reservoir of all pleasure. And unless devotion awakens in your heart, an attraction to that Lord, the reservoir of all pleasure, and it's just in the simple chanting of the holy names. when you get this quality, this opulence of attraction, then you can plunder that reservoir of pleasure. See, it's a reservoir. It's like this huge body of water in life. But without bhakti, devotion, you can't enter into that. You can't connect with that reservoir. It's like that river is like the bhakti, and Krishna is that reservoir. And the bhakti connects you to the big, vast body of water and bliss and ecstasy. And these mellow exchanges, this relationship with this huge body, this reservoir, who's a person, and the personal relations. That's why this is wealth, man. This is the wealth that these billionaires don't have. They have the illusory representation of wealth, which is all this stuff that comes and goes, gold and silver and control. These bodies that they're trying so hard to control as their personal resources and batteries, they're all going to go to the ground. And then they're going to go to the ground, and the whole thing was all futile. And then all they have is karma to reap from making people misery by living on misery and the misery of others. See, that's the human condition. That's in this world. You need to be liberated. That's why ultimately you need a bona fide spiritual master to awaken this attraction to the reservoir of all pleasure, real pleasure, pleasure that endures. You notice the chanting, this pleasure endures and increases. Therefore, there will never be a time where it'll be hackneyed and boring. People, they need to change the books they read every day, but the devotee, all he needs is the mantra to chant every day, and it's always increasing. Because they're tapped in, that name is the reservoir in the form of a mantra, in the form of a name. And you just tap into that name. It's always, you just enter deeper into the reservoir of pleasures and varieties. This is wealth. This is what you get here. Anybody coming to Krishna, hey man, it's time to hear the facts of life, man. Find out what the goal of life is revealed so easily. The whole purpose of Krishna consciousness is revealed easily. And if a person cannot tap into this reservoir like we do here and demonstrate, then what kind of guru are they? What kind of representative of Vrindavan are you? Why are you coming to Krishna? You should be coming to Krishna consciousness to attain Vrindavan. Well, you attain that very quickly here. You attain it by getting this opulence, this great wealth of attraction to Krishna, this great bhakti, devotion. That's our mission in this world, is to awaken this devotion to the reservoir. So you can tap into it, you can connect to it, and ever be always refreshed by God, by the Lord, by association with the transcendental Lord. You represent that in this world. You can help liberate people now. You're an assistant in the Lord's pastimes. Transcendental pastime. You're not just out distributing the books of a transcendental personality like Prabhupada distributed his books, but you can't taste that nectar. See, this is the next stage. Okay, that's great. You distribute books, you follow these gurus who don't really represent Vrindavan. You went on pilgrimages, but it's all leading to here so that you can taste the nectar of that reservoir of all bliss and ecstasy is the Krishna himself. That's the whole point. Hey, that's attainable here. That's real opulence. If after you hear this, if you come across this video and you hear this talk and you still don't get it, well, you're deaf and you're still blind. And your leaders will just continue on leading you, in a dark way, in the darkness. You need to see somebody, you need to hear somebody that understands the light in these verses by personal experience of tapping into this reservoir of Krishna. That's the way. Guru is an example of the way. It's like, if a person in the jungle, they're looking for a guide. There's a great temple out there in the jungle, with all gold and all kinds of treasures and everything. But there's a jungle there. How do you get through the jungle? There's all these poisonous snakes and this and that. You need a guide. You need a guide that's been there, been through the jungle, gotten through the snakes, knows where they are, knows where the obstacles are, can lead you into where that temple of treasure is. That's Guru, isn't it? That's the real Guru. But most people have these false motivated guides. They think, oh, these people are looking for guides. Yeah, I'll just take their money and I won't even enter the jungle. We'll just stay on the outside. I'll just lead them around in circles. Just take their money. See? That's motivated religion. That's your poopy popes, man. That's your big sannyasi sticks who are not really in the kingdom of Vrindavan yet. And they claim to be. That's if they would say, oh, listen, I'm not really worthy of worship, man, because I'm just like you. I'm also looking for God. That person would be more honest. But that most of them aren't like that. They want to give the appearance, just like Maya, always giving the appearance of somewhere where you can get some place to wet your whistle, where you can really drink. That's the way Maya works. Oh, yeah, I'll give you the appearance that I'm a guru, that I can take you to Vrindavan. It's only an appearance, not really true. See? Truth will set you free. You should ask, here, King Goahari, is he empowered? Is he authorized to bring me to Vrindavan? I ain't afraid of the question. I have confidence in the question because I would lead myself. I would never do this job unless it was really true and authorized. I'm not like these guys. They want to they pretend they do the job because they're greedy after money and all that stuff. I already got what I want. I got this relationship with the Lord. It's eternal. It never goes, man. It just expands more and more. And Prabhupada asked me to help others who really want this also. It's great. I got friends. I had a great order from Prabhupada, in Krishna. Now we got friends. We can be a family, here. A family of ecstatic, transcendentally situated devotees. Who cares if outsiders out there don't understand us right now because they're polluted by their following blind leaders and all that stuff. Eventually the truth will work its way in. The Lord always proves the words of his real devotees true. This is the scriptures. Over and over again, it's always proving true. The Lord ultimately proved Jesus Christ's words were true. See? How does he do that? He has people, the Holy Spirit awaken that none of these Pharisees can do. The same thing here. The spirit of devotion, of pure bhakti and prema awakens in people coming here and not over there. Not even with the big titles of Charya. You get something else. I don't preach the something else. We just preach the essence of what Krishna consciousness is about. Ecstatic attraction for Krishna and Lord Caitanya, these teachings. Go ahead, read on there.
Okay. Forgot where I was. Okay. The self-same Lord Krishna, the echo Maharaj.
Oh, sorry.
The self-same Lord Krishna invented himself as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with all his eternal associates who are also equally glorious. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the supreme controller, the one personality of Godhead, has ecstatically become a devotee, yet his body is transcendental, and not materially tinged. The transcendental mellow of conjugal love of Krishna is so wonderful that Krishna himself accepts the form of a devotee to relish and taste it fully. For this reason, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the supreme teacher, accepts the form of a devotee and accepts Lord Nityananda as his elder brother. Maharaj just been explaining that. Sri Advaita is Lord Chaitanya's incarnation as a devotee.
Actually, read back those verses again that you just read.
Okay. The self-same Lord Krishna advented himself as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with all his eternal associates who are also equally glorious. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the supreme controller, the one personality of Godhead, has ecstatically become a devotee, yet his body is transcendental and not materially tinged.
Yeah, this is a really interesting concept too. See, Lord Chaitanya is the supreme controller, the supreme controller, and he's controlling everything and everybody. See? The world needs to learn that, okay, you could be controlled by the Lord's Maya, which puts you in illusion, makes you think that you're the controller. See, that's the way the Maya does. It's an imitation of the absolute truth. It makes you believe that oh yeah, I'm responsible. I'm responsible for my family. I'm responsible for my life. See? But the truth is, he's the supplier. See? And you're participating in Maya's thing, by believing in being controlled by the Lord's external energy. See, people are caught up in various levels like this, being controlled by the Lord's external energy. See, but now we're here introducing people to the Lord's internal energy. See, and which you're also still controlled. See, but you're controlled by attraction. See, people are controlled by attraction to Maya also. They're attracted to it, even though they may not like it so much and they don't understand. They're bewildered, confused. It's a confusing, insane, a little bit crazy. It just because that's the bodily condition. It's just a very unclear situation. People are confused and unclear, misguided, misled, is in this way and that way. This is how it is in darkness. You're in the darkness, groping around. You don't know where the light is. Light is truth. Okay? So the supreme truth is taught by the associates of the Lord, coming foremost by the bona fide spiritual master. He teaches you, oh yeah, come and meet the supreme controller in this form. Okay? He controls by ecstatic relations. It controls him, and his devotees are controlled by this relationship. And it's transcendental, it's spiritual, it's beautiful, it frees you from ignorance. Find out who you really are. Oh, I'm a spirit. I didn't know. I'm here to worship the Supreme Spirit, meditate on the Supreme Spirit, to play with the Supreme Spirit. Wow, my life is just a play. Well, it was just a play before also, but it's not so fun in Maya. The world is nothing but it's a stage. Shakespeare taught it. All the world's a stage, and people are playing on it, but it's not very happy. Look at the wars coming. Look at the confusions. Look at the manipulations. Look at all the lies. It's not a very happy experience, for most people, and even the ones that are like very wealthy and everything, they're also not really happy. It's just there's no real happiness in that. It's not you. The demons are not really demons. The demigods are not really demigods. It's a temporary designation. The animals are not really animals. See? They're spirit souls, you know, and they're spirit. They're not material. This is just the illusion they've fallen into. We're all spirits, man, and we're meant to be on the play and the stage of spirit. That's where the dance is beautiful. That's what the demonstration of Lord Caitanya was in this world. How to dance in spirit. How to make the Lord dance. How to inspire God Himself to dance. And to dance with the Lord. That's the rasa dance. When you're back in your original position of spirit, that's self-realization. Now you know the point of material existence is to get out of it. Because it's not you. It's a complete illusion. You're illusioned by this bodily identification, identifying that you're actually worshiping Lord. Bill Gates and the Soros, they're worshiping the Lord, but they don't know it. They're in ignorance. They can't partake of the pleasure of it. They're always left hungry and destitute because that Lord in the form is his illusionary energy. It's not enduring wealth, but this is the reservoir of pleasure, the spiritual potency, the spiritual wealth, the real opulences are spirit, are transcendental. See, are inconceivable and unattainable except here. Can you imagine? Look what we're pushing here. Look what we're selling without charging material money. We're selling Krishna. Sales is whether you take money out of being a salesman, you're trying to sell your product, right? You know how many customers you get if you gave away Kirby vacuums? Oh, you have millions, right? But they need some money, and a lot of money in exchange. So you got to sell that vacuum. Okay? What about Krishna? You got a product here. You can see a Kirby vacuum. But how many people can see Krishna, the reservoir of all pleasure? Yeah, hard sell, isn't it? You see something, the scriptures say Krishna is inconceivable and unattainable. Incomprehensible. That's a pretty hard sell. That's why you got to be empowered. Otherwise, you're going to sell people something else. Oh, I'll sell you a bunch of rules in Krishna consciousness. I'll sell you nice ceremonies. Oh, big pomp. But can you sell Krishna? Can you sell that, how to tap in to that transcendental reservoir which enlightens you to the absolute truth eternally? See? Well, that's what the real guru does. That's what we're doing here. You come and you listen to this. You'll hear the highest truth distinguished from illusion, which we do all the time. See? And people develop a deep, ever deepening attraction for the transcendental, their spirit. Their spirit is awakened. Attraction to the Supreme Spirit is awakened, that happiness, that bliss, that ecstasy, it's demonstrated here. You can see it with your own eyes. You see the kind of knowledge that comes from that, the empowerment that comes from that. It's very attractive. That's how you sell Krishna. It's got to be sold by a real devotee. Nobody else can do it. There would have to be an experienced devotee dipping their wick in that absolute truth and having it lit. See? And then shining that light in this world. There's no other way to preach how to save people. You got to be a real guru. See? And you learn by being a real disciple, a real recipient of the mercy of your guru. So we got so many here like that already. It's amazing. Various degrees. Go ahead, River. Read on.
Okay. The transcendental mellow of conscious love of Krishna is so wonderful that Krishna, Maharaj, the echo,
Oh, sorry.
The transcendental mellow of conjugal love of Krishna is so wonderful that Krishna himself accepts the form of a devotee to relish and taste it fully.
So how are you going to appreciate the transcendental mellow unless you see somebody relishing the transcendental mellow? See, the Lord himself had to start this by tasting it himself and showing how attractive it is. How attractive it is to chant the holy name with great ecstatic devotion. That's Krishna consciousness. That's how you become Krishna conscious. You have to see an example of what Lord Caitanya did then. What is this people trying to represent Krishna consciousness and you never see that kind of ecstatic worship? That means you don't know what Krishna consciousness is. You're teaching something that is not really Krishna conscious. You're teaching something else. The Lord taught by example of relishing this transcendental ecstasy of tapping into the reservoir of all pleasure, Krishna, as a devotee, in the mood of a devotee, in the form of a devotee. You need to show people that. Otherwise, where are you leading people? Are you leading them to that experience? This is what Guru is all about, really, in essence. We're here to demonstrate the highest truth, man. The highest truth is to connect with spirit, the supreme spirit. Have your spirit awakened, be born again, transcendentally reborn, and partake of that spiritual nectar that gives you eternal life and immortality, even here. No waiting for you to die to show symptoms of immortality. You show it here by boldness and preaching uncompromising truth, by tasting this nectar that those people in the spiritual world taste, that they shown that they tasted here, even as a form of Lord Caitanya and Radha and Krishna, their devotees. You manifest that immortality in this world. The people see every day you come and you glorify the absolute truth without fail. Just like Haridas Thakur chanted his rounds of ecstatic chanting without fail. It's so glorious that you want to come and you attract people to come also. Look at you guys, 5 friggin' years you've come here, practically every day. Who goes to church every day unless it's attractive? You can barely get people to go to church once a week, unless they're real ecstatic worshipers of Christ, because then they'll feel it. They'll like being in spirit because their spirits have been awakened. People go to temples now, you'll see more and more people will just go there just to, just once a week to put on a big show of Sunday feasts in the temples. And then the rest of the time is this only the temple devotees doing their boring, regulative devotional practices. I'm telling you, man, boring. I been in India. I saw the dead Gaudiya moth. I would go to their temples there in Navadvip, the places like a ghost town. You got the little brahmacharis looking out there, the windows, Oh, there are people gonna come and give money or something. Or all of the groups, man, all of the old, the old groups after Bhakti Siddhanta, the life was, it's like after Prabhupada, the real life is gone. It's all a big show, No spiritual life. See, without the spirit, even though the devotees, Prabhupada and Bhakti, were not teaching, the highest thing, so they're just getting you to do rules and regulations. But still, they were ecstatic devotees. People felt the juice being around them. And as soon as they left, that juice left. You can ask anybody after Prabhupada left what happened to that, anybody that was really around. Then the external devotional service really took over. You didn't feel the rays anymore. Everything becomes like a religion. It's all religious stuff. Doing Swami steps and all of the very empty, that ain't, to me, that ain't attractive at all. Even the Lord says it's not attractive. Stay there holy life. When the Lord came here, because he says, I have so many devotees. lot of these persons they've given their lives to worship Krishna in that way. But it's time, you need to learn the birds of the bees. How else can you know the mood of Lord Chaitanya and Krishna if you don't see it by a devotee telling you and showing you that mood? That the Lord said himself, I have so many people like this going to the temples like this, but that doesn't attract me. That doesn't overwhelm me. See? God himself tells you that, and you have to see a devotee tell you that too. I tell you the same thing. I don't find any attraction to not really going to temples with all this pomp going on and all,
Sorry.
yeah, and all of that stuff. See? This is attractive. This is what Krishna wants, doesn't he? Didn't he say he came here to preach ecstatic worship of the Lord? That's attractive. That's what I preach also. I preach this is ecstatic attraction and worship of the Lord is it. It's the greatest thing. I show you that. My disciples show you that. Now you learn what the teachings of Chaitanya Charitamrita and Chaitanya Leela are here and only here because nobody's showing. You got to, show how attractive it is to worship the Lord in ecstatic love. Not like, oh, well, that's so high that all I can do is teach you a bunch of rules and regulations. And that's how you're going to spend your days is rules, regulations, and fastings and all of that stuff. And nice, gorgeous worship, external worship. Anyway, we're not here about that. We're here for those who want to move on and move deeper, move into what Lord Chaitanya really came here to do and to appreciate and to relish and to teach. That's all here. And nowhere else I've seen it. We're the revival of that. Here, you want to know why Lord Chaitanya descended? You can learn that here very easily. But nowhere will you learn it out there because they're not teaching it. They're not showing it. They're not demonstrating it. They're not demonstrating that they're actually authorized representatives of the real Gaudiya Vaishnava line. A transcendental personality is meant to head this line. Otherwise, nobody knows even the purpose of the line or what the line really is. They think it's about just doing external worship, external bhakti, just following the motions, just going through the motions with a flame, the flame, oh wow, look how gorgeously he's worshiping Krishna. And he's sitting in such the right stance and looking so wonderful, looking so great, and he's waving this external flame and then offering the water. Wow, they throw some water, they throw that external water on you because it's still external to you. No, and you don't appreciate that the flame is supposed to be the heart of a devotee. That's what Lord Chaitanya came. I want to show you some passionate, flame-filled devotees. I want to show you some conchas, living conchas, where their eye socket is the conch and the holy water are their tears. That's why the Lord. Who's preaching that? I'm not even one has the power to preach that except here. One. Teach you what those rituals are about. Otherwise, what is the difference between all of that pomp worship like that, external worship, and you go to the Catholic Church with this Pope, putting a pedophile Pope, putting a dry wafer of communion with God. This is your communion. It's dry, nice dry. Oh, let's wet it down with some grape juice. That's your friggin' communion. You want to go your whole life communing with God like that? Or you want to have this juice, this life communion? Intimacy, ecstasy, excessive happiness. You see it with your own eyes here. Come on, let's get some eyes to pop open, some ears to pop open, some miracles to open those external dry eyes, see, and dry hearts, eating dry wafers and seeing these just flames, external flames of some flame in the thing, and some water in the conch, and get some water. Oh wow, I've got some water. Yeah, what did you really feel? Nothing. Just cold water on you. External worship. Nobody knows the reason. What is the purpose of that worship? It's called blind adherence to rules and regulations of the Vedas. You don't even know the purpose. Will you come here? We'll teach you the purpose. We'll teach you the meaning of the Bhagavad Gita verse when he says, I'm the flame, I'm the fire, I'm the butter of the sacrifice. That'll be you. You'll be that. And you'll know that, wow, God, man, all the paraphernalia for the sacrifice is in here. You got the water, you got the flame. The Lord's looking for passion, man. Passion for him. Otherwise, you're not connecting with the Lord. Where's the passion, man? Where's the flame? Right. Janardhan's got it right. My juice is celery juice. Go ahead there, Rhythmic. You know.
Okay. Text 12. For these reasons, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the supreme teacher, accepts the form of a devotee and accepts Lord Nityananda as his elder brother. Sri Advaita Acharya is Lord Chaitanya's incarnation as a devotee. Therefore, these three tattvas, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, and Advaita Goswami, are the predominators or masters. One of them is Mahaprabhu, and the other two are Prabhus. These two Prabhus serve the lotus feet of the Mahaprabhu. The three predominators, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, and Advaita Prabhu, are worshipable by all living entities. And the fourth principle, Sri Gadadhar Pandit, is to be understood as their as their worshipper.
Yeah, this is what people they don't understand, the guru principle. See, it started, you can look at it, go trace it all the way back. Lord Chaitanya is the Mahaprabhu, right? And the other Prabhus, see, also masters, they worship that Mahaprabhu, right? And so they show the first principle of empowerment by their worship. Even though they're Prabhus, they get their power from the worship of Mahaprabhu. That's Radha and Krishna or Lord Chaitanya saying. See? They all get that. They show you the example. That's where the lines come. They come, you notice they don't really come from Lord Chaitanya. They come from Nityananda. And the Lord did awaken the line too. But basically, our lines come from the Prabhus who teach us how to worship the Supreme Mahaprabhu. See, they teach us, and they're also Prabhus and masters. And if you don't, like some people, they even hear, I have to teach this. They think, I have a hard time worshiping, why should I worship a guru? Why should I worship you? Well, I'll just be with Prabhupada, or I don't want to worship any guru or anything like that. But actually, that's why you see the people are called Prabhu you're taught in Vaishnavism. You see people as master, right? Prabhus. But that's a little bit like practice. You're actually worshiping the Prabhu inside the heart. See? And when you really give respect is when that person is the empowered Prabhu. just like Nityananda is empowered by their worship because they're transcendentally situated. The real spiritual master is the Prabhu in this world. You have to see signs and symptoms of them being empowered by Lord to be worshipable, as good as God. See? People have had a hard time with this worshiping Guru as good as God because they're not an empowered version of that. They're not in the real line. There's no fault in worshiping a bona fide Guru as Prabhu, as Master, if they're empowered by the Supreme Master. The Lord is very pleased with that. And that's the example that the disciples that are doing here like that. Because look at, there's no loss for Johann or River or Lalita for worshiping their guru as their master, as their guru, as their worshipable like deity even. There's no fault in that. Krishna said, "Oh, my devotees are more are as worshipful as I, and actually more worshipable than me, because they're getting you out of the Maya. I come as that guru. That guru belongs to me. I belong to him. He belongs to me. You got such a guru out there, anybody? Would you dare even saying this? Because my position is at risk. Because I told you the truth. You could get rid of Gohar if he's not like that. You should. You know, if you don't worship a real guru as good as God, then you won't have the ecstasy as like Lalita and Johann. Because Krishna's saying, yeah, that's right. See, that's what the book preaches. Didn't I just told you the verses. Yeah, Lord Caitanya said in Chaitanya Bhagavat, the spiritual master, the real devotee of the Lord is more worshipful than I am. And there's a reason for that. Logic. The Lord ain't stupid. The Lord ain't sentimental. He comes as that guru if they're authentic and delivers you. So it's actually the same thing. But it's better because they speak to you. They break your bonds. That Lord speaks through them to you. You darn tootin' they're more worshipable in that way. Because people, you can worship Krishna directly in the temple. You can go to Mayapur, and it'll take a long time to get purified, like lifetimes. But you hear the truth from a real guru, who the Lord comes as that guru. Yeah, that's what the book says, chapter 1, Adi Lila. You don't believe it? You don't believe these books? Well, I do. It even works when you believe it, and it's your life and soul. That word is God's word to you, and you preach it uncompromising. I don't care, you guys. If you still like, yeah, he's saying good as God. Well, that's your bullshit, man. Whoever you're out there like that, that's what will give you an opportunity to get purified. These are the teachings of Chaitanya Charitamrita. You need to know what kind of guru is good as God. And they're not a cult leader. There's no, what kind of cult is this here? That people who treat their guru as good as God here, all they do is get more freedom. That's pretty good, isn't it? You get more free, you're brainwashed. We're becoming a slave. You're becoming sovereign in your life. You got a relationship like I do. Ecstatic, intimate, free relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. See? That's what you get for worshiping conclusively. So anybody have a little bit of trouble with, we do the final period. I just tell you like it is and just get it going. Yeah? Just get the little envies and jealousies and whatever else is in there. We'll just snip it. If you don't have a guru that's as good as God, get rid of them. Because that's what you need to get out. We're here to teach the principles of Chaitanya Charitamrita. The postgraduate course in Krishna consciousness. No paper degree from any mundane university can make you a teacher of this. You have to be predominated by the Mahaprabhu. Bhakti Tom, you have a beard. Oh, you have a beard again? How come I didn't notice the beard? Oh, what is that on your face? Got a towel. Yeah, see, the good is God thing gets a bad rap because you got all these imitators out there. After a while, people lose faith. Why wouldn't you? See? But the principles are principles. They're really good when you find the real deal. That's why you see, side by side, when the real spiritual master and real associates of the Lord appear, the false ones appear also. They come out in the woodwork. They want to imitate. Like Pundraka came to imitate when Krishna appeared. The Pundraka appeared, the imitation. It's good. That's how you learn the difference. Well, it's true, and that's how do you know? You got to see the devotee Bhagavat. It represents the book, man. No matter how unpopular it is, like that statement, people are afraid to say that that the guru is good as God. Oh, hey, man, if you have the same bliss as God. You have to have the proof, man. You have the same knowledge as the book Bhagavat. That's God. Are you promoting that? Do you have the same ecstasy that the book teaches you about? Do you really get your introduction to ecstatic worship through them? Do you develop attraction very quickly to worshiping the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the form of his name and book to the point of the kind of ecstasy that your guru has? Well, we teach reality here. This is the most real thing that you people in Krishna consciousness out there in Vaidhi land are going to see in this lifetime. Because your gurus sure ain't showing it. They can't show you what they don't have. You can't give a person a piece of transcendental bread if you don't have a piece of transcendental bread yourself. I can't give you of the loaf I'm eating if I don't have the loaf, right? That I'm eating. What do you think the bread of life is? I'm the bread of life. Well, I'm eating a certain kind of bread, man. It's really good, and I like to share it with my friends. Do you want to eat some of this bread? No, I'm going to eat Jaipataka bread, man. I like stale. I do stale, man. I like dry. No, you don't want any butter on it? No butter bhakti? Butter it up? Oh, no. I just want to chant my dry rounds. I'm faithful to the end. My Guru Dev Narayan Maharaj said many lifetimes before I'm going to taste this bhakti, man, before I'm going to get prema, I'm going to go that path. No, and I think that's the smart thing to do. Oh, get bhakti in this life this quick with you? Never! This is a real comedy show. Thank you, Narayan Maharaj, for your participation. A thunderbolt, I'm sure, is shortly going to be coming down shortly and blowing up Gohar's chant. He's going to be dry as a bone soon. Don't worry. Just keep praying for that. See, the bread of life is made by my wife. Yeah. See, the guru is like your wife too. They should be giving you some real bread. Otherwise, what kind of guru are they? The real bread is transcendental, man. You getting any bread with butter on it? Can you tell the bread is real bread because butter is added there? The bhakti bread is buttered up with a nice bhakti, man. Nice and tasty. You know, it would have been nice if Jesus would have said, I'm the bread of life, and if you have some bhakti, you can taste it. But, you know, we have to complete everything and everything. I got to complete the teachings of Jesus, got to complete the teachings of the Buddha, got to complete the teachings of Prabhupada here, you know, because they're still on the external level. Go ahead there, River, read on. Oh, Tom's turn. You read a little bit.
I'm in the car now, so I don't have the. I'm on my phone. I cannot do it. I can drive home and then do it.
Well, it's up to you. Well, you may not, I might go off by that time because we've been on a long time. Go ahead, River, continue.
Okay. 16, text 16. There are innumerable pure devotees of the Lord, headed by Srivas Thakur, who are known as unalloyed devotees.
See, there are innumerable pure devotees of the Lord, especially when the Lord was here. See, the Lord is very attractive. You know, so the devotees also came to be in that Leela with him. And so when the Lord started preaching, see, he made people aware. Okay, I'm here. I'm preaching now. Starting the Sankirtan movement, which is really ecstatic worship of the Lord. You're just practicing out there. If you're not in the ecstasy of prema worship of the name of Krishna, you're still practicing. You're doing Vaidhi Bhakti in practice. But the Lord came to start it. This beginning of the Sankirtan movement was prema. He showed prema. His real devotees were attracted. It's no different here. The real people that have been working on this, have been waiting for this, are coming and assembling here. Because prema is being demonstrated in this Sangha. It's demonstrated. We're teaching the glory of it. You see the value of it. All these words I'm saying, what am I glorifying? Vaidhi Bhakti, Varnashram Dharma, or Prema Bhakti. And we can do it here because we taste that bhakti. We relish it. We awaken it. See? We're the experts. You need an expertise. Expertise. What's your expertise? You ever heard that saying? What's your expertise? Well, ours is prema. Well, how do I know you're an expert? Well, let us show you. Like Lord Caitanya showed. Like his real followers showed. Like Nityananda's followers showed. How can you show that you're an expert in some subject unless you show your expertise? Can you worship the Hare Krishna mantra in ecstasy? Let us see it. Let us see you're an expert in Krishna consciousness movement. That you can bring us to that level of attraction to Krishna, which is self-realization. Perfect. Where you become a real guru and you are most glorified. See, the most glorified person, right? That verse is the real guru. And if you're a real guru, you can make most glorified persons like that. We're already doing it. People like you, once you get this bhakti, man, look, people start to respect you that are intelligent at least. If they're full of demons and are like even guru, these so-called gurus are full of darkness, man. The darkness comes out. You know how they got that darkness? By becoming a guru when they're not authorized. The demons just love to take shelter of persons like that. They come right in there and make you full of that darkness, man. Make you so audacious to actually say that you're a representative of Radha and Krishna Vrindavan. That's audacious, man. They think I'm audacious. No, you're audacious. We show you that we're authorized. The Lord shows that we're authorized. Go ahead there.
Okay. Next one. The devotees headed by Gadadhar Pandit are to be considered incarnations of the internal potency of the Lord. They are confidential devotees engaged in the service of the Lord. The internal devotees, Echo Maharaj.
Oh, sorry.
The internal devotees The internal devotees or potencies are all eternal associates in the pastime of the Lord.
See, internal is the key word. You need to find an internal devotee of the Lord, not external devotee, not just, whoa, he must be an internal. You don't even think that way. You think, oh, he must be a devotee. You can't even sort it out in your head. Who is a real devotee, right? You think, oh, he's a devotee, right? Why? Because he has a dhoti on. Because he's got a rubber stamp from the grove. Well, we're here to sort it out. No. Who's an internal devotee, man? Where's that internal devotion? See, do you see the internal devotion manifest somewhere in somebody? See, somebody means that temple, that body is a somebody. You ever hear that guy's a somebody? Otherwise, you're a nobody. See, no body of devotion, no internal potency. You're just a nobody. I see. That's why I treat them like that. You're just a nobody, man. You got no spiritual body. Therefore, what is that? Your physical body is going to pieces, man. It's going to be eaten by worms and dust and turned to dust and ashes. You're a nobody. See? You got to become a somebody, man. A somebody has their spiritual body awakened and it's deep in the reservoir of Krishna. Otherwise, you're a nobody in this world. See, people are treating nobodies as somebodies. Yeah, if you don't have your spiritual body awakened, you're a nobody, man. There's no body there because it's just a temporary manifestation that's going down into the dust of the world. Why waste your time worshiping nobodies acting like somebodies? It's all an act. It's all an illusion. They're nobodies, no devotion, no internal bhakti, no expression of internal bhakti. Then you've got nothing, a nobody there. Better to come to the somebodies who are treated by the world as nobodies because people believe in nobodies as somebodies. Anybody get my speech here? Is that making sense to anybody? Only somebodies know what I'm talking about. The nobodies are all looking like somebodies, but they're nobodies because there's no spiritual body manifest. It's all illusion until the somebody manifests, which is internal bhakti, internal devotion. I was waiting for that one. Go ahead there. Think about this.
It's true. Raj, have you turned the echo off?
Oh, sorry.
The internal devotees or potencies are all eternal. Have I read this one? Okay. The internal devotees or potencies are all eternal associates in the pastimes of the Lord. Only with them does the Lord advent to propagate the Sankirtan movement. Only with them does the Lord taste the mallows of conjugal love. And only with them does he distribute the pure love of God to people in general. Yeah. The characteristics of Krishna are understood to be...
Can you read that verse again there?
Of course. The internal devotees or potencies are all eternal associates in the pastime of the Lord. Only with them does the Lord advent to propagate the Sankirtan movement. Only with them does the Lord taste the mallows of conjugal love. And only with them does he distribute the love of God to people in general.
So we're assembling that kind of garden again. See? Only with them, because otherwise this movement won't go. That's why you see the Lord himself, our doorman is Radha and Krishna, Lord Caitanya. He'll kick people out that don't really want this. Because only with them, only with the real internal devotees or those who want to be, can this be promoted. That's why the Lord is like that. Is that, oh, you just want to be a teacher? That's your real heartfelt desire. You're not really in here to be purified and to love Guru and God and the Vaishnavas. Oh, really don't want that? Okay, you'll have to leave, because only with them can we be successful here. Only with real devotees who really want devotion. You don't have to be anything special. Just really want Krishna. Really get life from Guru, Krishna, and the Vaishnavas. Sadhu, Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. Yeah, this is the real counsel here. And if you have some other motives or some other things, I mean, deep in your heart, the Lord will find it out. That's why everybody has to become, purified here. Yeah. Um, a lot of people working on, they have like very deep conditionings. I noticed. Lord was showing me this stuff. And that's why it takes a little while, because there's these conditionings coming out, and we, pains, and, where you had a lot of, like childhood abuses and maybe for lifetimes and all this. All this stuff has to come out so you can meditate on the Lord. Otherwise, a lot of people, they have a hard time meditating, and surrendering, because of their faith isn't fully, they got all this internal stuff going on. But that's part of the process. So if that's your thing, just stick with it. You'll see eventually it'll go. You'll get more and more real. You'll be able to get the real mercy, the deep mercy, and this stuff just has to come out. It's sitting on top. You can't even meditate. That's why you see people that have a lot of this issues and stuff. It's hard for them to really sit and meditate, like on the name, and go into the internal potency, because all this stuff is on top of that. It's got to come out. It's part of the process. Part of the process.
So, Maraj, are we being thank you? Are we being purified on all levels, meaning from different lifetimes in one go?
Oh yeah, very fast, very
Like
quickly.
that? Because I had
Yeah,
this
yeah.
vision where there was loads of different levels, but something was penetrating all of those levels. So it was like Krishna's penetrating all of that to purify all the levels, to do the healing, to be able to.
Yeah, it's all the levels. Yeah, and that's why maybe even physically, you got to get this emotional stuff out, because that's could be putting pressure on things and organs and all that. So as that's relieved, more and more everything will come in balance. It's up to the Lord's will. Just- We'll see how it goes. Yeah, go ahead, Rita.
Okay. The characteristics of Krishna are understood to be a storehouse of transcendental love. Although that storehouse of love certainly came with Krishna when he was present, it was
Yeah,
sealed.
isn't that amazing? The characteristics of Krishna are the storehouse of this love. It's that the love is stored in those characteristics. See, and love that is simultaneously the way to access it, because that love, it's kind of like if you had like personification of this bhakti devotion, this Radharani. She's sitting in your heart. See, waiting to access this storehouse of love, so it wakens. This is what's going on in our temples. See, is to access that storehouse of love, which are the characteristics of the Lord. But if your devotion hasn't been awakened, you can't access that storehouse of love. See? You have no access, no key. That's the idea of the associate of the Lord, is acting as guru. That's why I keep emphasizing the guru thing. People got to get this clear. See, they activate the this bhakti in you so that you can access that storehouse. It's like this is that intimate relationship with the storehouse. Krishna is the storehouse of that love, and so that devotion has to be awakened to access it. You have to have your battery charged, like jumped. Otherwise, you're just a dead battery. You can't really enter. That's why it's easier with the Maya, right? Oh, Maya's right before. Oh, yeah, money. Yeah. Oh, what, I got to work my ass off for it? Well, I'll do it because, that's the only deal in town. It's the only game in town in Maya, right? Which is whatever is offered. Oh, yeah. Hey, money's offered. Yeah, go and study under Warren Buffett, and then become a millionaire like him, you know, or some, what's being offered in the Maya as well. See, it's all Maya. It's all until you hear topics about real wealth from somebody who is accessing real wealth. You're still an illusion. Real wealth isn't material knowledge, even. That's not real wealth. Real wealth is spiritual understanding, spiritual knowledge, transcendental knowledge, that gives you access to eternity, knowledge, and bliss. See, from an experienced person who has this real wealth. Yeah. Always, that's the door to it. Otherwise, these people, what do they adore to? What are these gurus adore to? Just ask a simple question. What are they adore to? Where are you going, man? You open that door by listening to these people for years. What door is open for you? Well, I don't know, rituals and ceremonies. And I go and I see the deity every week. I have a nice Sunday feast. What else? What door is open for you here? You just ask these questions. What door is it? Is it attractive? Is it take you out of the illusion? Does it give you a happiness beyond this world? Does it actually, do you experience being liberated in this association? Does it give you a thrill better than anything in this world? There you go. That's Guru Dave. That's the door to eternity. That was. Yeah, Warren Buffett should invest here. It's a great investment. All he has, we don't even charge you. You can keep your billions of dollars. Well, you can give us a few here, and we'll give people tickets. They all can come to Playa, and we'll have a big party. That's the only good value we can get from your money, Mr. Buffett's and Bill Gates and all that. Yeah, come here and give us. We don't even need it. Even 100,000 even will suffice. That's nothing. That's like peanuts to these guys. But these guys are they're so miserly. Even they got all this wealth and it's made them misers. Look at all this wealth I got. I'm just like throwing it all over the place, man. And it increases more. I get more friends. All you can do, look at these guys. All they're going to get is enemies. People, they're going to go after. They're going to tear that Bill Gates and Fauci apart when they find that the parents they've poisoned their children on the advice of these idiots. You don't think they're going to go after them? That's what you get. So hey, man, you got your chance here, Mr. Billy Boy. They're going to find you out the truth. Hey, man, the Jesus even said the truth is going to be shouted from the housetops. Everything that's been hidden in your closet there, Mr. Fauci, all you guys, all you liars and cheaters is all going to be exposed. My Lord's going to expose it because that's what he does. Expose. That's why he's exposing this and giving you a chance to repent. See? Confirmed.
Kuna just sent me a video actually on what's happening in America. Some big news channels are reporting what's happening with the drugs.
Oh yeah, what's
showing, showing athletes falling down dead and all sorts of all that kind of stuff actually happening.
And now and the last snare, these demons, they want to blame it on Trump. He's also involved because he was promoting. He's just stuck his foot in his mouth. but they're all, it's just they're all an illusion now. Everybody. This is really, I don't see any other practical way out. Man, these verses are so true. Man, those who take shelter of Lord Chaitanya's feet are the most glorified. Literally. I mean, look at us. We may not be glorified by the world. And I'm like, who's even looking for it? I'm not looking for it. It's just the truth, man. You want, I mean, these people are going after the glory of being some leader, whether all the way from religion down to politics. They want to be in charge, they want to be leaders, and all they do is get corrupted and poisoned and make people miserable. Here, you become most glorified and you make people happy, and not even looking for the glory. It's just automatic, man. Just being the follower of Lord Chaitanya people. This is what the associates of Lord Chaitanya say, and I say the same thing. I say exactly what they said. My God, we just worship Lord Chaitanya. We're just his followers, and people give us respect. And they were thinking we're just ordinary persons. But look, these people are giving us respect. I say this, look at this, you guys giving this. All I'm doing is because I'm a real follower of Lord Chaitanya and this philosophy and these truths. I'm getting respect. People calling me Guru Dev and Maharaj. What kind of Maharaj am I? I just got an orange t-shirt. No tilak, none. They call Maharaj, Maharaj, Maharaj. Bhaktivedanta. All because I'm a follower of Lord Chaitanya. See? He makes it true. And look, he makes it doubly true because he manifests in you guys also. You get the same thing I get. You get the same kind of connection with Lord Chaitanya. And look, people are giving you respect more and more also. Automatically. I remember when Lalita was going through and I treated her in a hard way. But anyway, there's always, I didn't know there was this Arjai involved, and I was wondering, my heart didn't feel good. And it was because of that connection. And she didn't tell me. But anyway, and she thought after that she would never have any back friendship here or it would impossible. But because she has true bhakti, right? Real bhakti, look, everything has changed. People love her now, right? Why wouldn't you? Real bhakti is very lovable. It's the only real love. And to be around like that is the greatest fortune, the greatest honor. To appreciate that is the greatest honor. Even though you may be a little envious, that's okay. You have something to be envious of. You should be envious of it. And just get purified and you'll get that too. Okay? This is the amazing power of bhakti. Everybody, and Lord Chaitanya is the access to this bhakti. The Guru is the access to Lord Chaitanya. It comes in that chain. If you don't give real respect and honor to a real Guru who represents Lord Chaitanya, you'll never get Lord Chaitanya. Or you'll lose Lord Caitanya if you did for a while, pretentiously, and then you go away. Oh, you'll see. Yeah. People, the demons are trying to destroy legacy wealth now. You notice that? This is the big thing. They want the government. This is what the demoniac mentality is in the mind. They want to destroy legacy, hereditary wealth. And then they want everybody to be dependent on the government. And then you get your wealth through the government and they turn it on and off when at their pleasure. And if you're not a good enough slave, they'll turn it on or off. This is what Maya has in store for those who worship her and continue to worship her. Well, you got another option. You can get out of that slavery. Okay? You can wake up. I mean, wake up on all levels, not partially wake up. If you come here, you'll get full awake. You'll be fully awake. You'll be awake how the demons and demigods are working and what their game they're playing. And it's all leading ultimately to surrender to the absolute truth and have this eternal internal relationship. See? To expose who you are as a spirit soul in eternal relationship with the Lord. This is where it's all going. Otherwise, that's, you could either be one of those kind of miserly controllers that want to control everything. They want everything. It's such it's a miserly thing, man. They want to take everybody's freedom away and all that stuff. That's what Maya's getting down to it, man. She's getting down and dirty. Depopulate, take people off the planet, you know. That's what's in store for those who continue to worship politicians and even in religion. Religion ain't going to give you much respite. Even most of religion, they're not clear. Religion, Christians and Vaishnavas, you're not clear enough. A lot of your leaders are getting corrupted. They're already corrupted. And then the world is encroaching on everybody, and they get more corrupt. All somebody has to do is come with and they've probably already done that. Come with a big bag of money and said, "Hey, you're an influencer. Hey, have people take the shot. Here's a bag of money." And these leaders, many of them will sell their souls for it. You don't know. That's because they don't have the real wealth. The real wealth isn't name and fame, that corruptible thing. The real wealth ain't gold and silver and having billions of dollars. You guys are crazy, insane, going after what's not real wealth. Real wealth is this loving eternal relationship, finding your soul, awakening your soul and its relationship to the Supreme Soul. Now you're free. Look at Narada Muni. He goes in any universe and he's not corrupted. He's not taken down by the Maya. He can go and preach anywhere because he's fixed in the absolute truth. We can also, look, we're practicing. We can also go roam around and we're not corrupted by the opulences of this world because we know what real wealth is. Real wealth is this eternal, internal relationship with the reservoir of all transcendental wealth of these loving relations, these mellows. Yeah. So give us a word, Tom. We're going to end this show here. Almost 3 hours.
I think Tom's frozen, Maharaj.
Oh, he's frozen. Give us a word, River.
When I used to do my research, there's this one story in particular that came up after reading this verse about the storehouse. Apparently, there used to be, and there's one left now, huge vaults in India. 2 of them were opened, and one wasn't being able to, it couldn't be opened. They tried everything to try and open this vault. The only way it could be opened is by a pure devotee. That's what they said, and it's full of gold. It's full of so much gold. But this is the real storehouse, and it has been opened by a pure devotee. It really has, and it is the real wealth. Because I said to Karuna the other day, we've got to take Maharaj to this vault so he can go and open this vault. But you're doing it already. This is the real true vault, with the real, the real treasure, endless treasure, like you say, unlimited, no scarcity. Yeah, I have to remember that it's always for the greater good of everyone. This path is for the greater good of others. I don't always do that, but that is always on my mind. And yeah, Lalita's been one of the Karuna, can you just turn that down? I can just hear myself. She's been one of the main people to help me realize the greater good for everyone. Not our individual things that go off, and we all have them now, whoever we are, but the greater good of all. And I'd really like to remember that. Great class. It is. I really want to be able to. You say certain. You say. It's so funny. It's so great to laugh, Maharaj. It's so great to just for this cause. Before I was called, my sister said, "You're just so miserable. You never laugh." But what is there to laugh at in this world, really? When you're drowning in it. But here, it's really, really wonderful. Thank you very much. Thank you to all the devotees. We couldn't do it. We couldn't do it without each other. Without this, this counseling, actually, really, and becoming the counsel as well. So yeah, like you have it and you give it to us. So yeah, so it's great. We're like, it is a reflection of everything. Because there is the government, they have councils, the local councils, they have the local councils here. But this is the eternal council being built upon earth right now, heaven upon earth. So yeah, there you go. Thank you very much, Maharaj. Oh, there he's back. He's back. It's your turn, Tom.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, yes, yeah. Whoa, it's warm here. Like before, everything what's in the topic, in the focus here is happening in my is happening here in the material world. It's like a perverted reflection going on here. So and I feel like disoriented in this world, not knowing how to communicate this transcendental consciousness to this world. I feel disoriented. Should I go to that church nearby and preach? But I sometimes I feel not empowered. Should I go home and listen and try to read from Chaitanya Charitamrita? But it's too late. Where should I go? Where to? How to engage this body, this material temporary potency? How to engage? I don't know. I can't hear. You're muted.
Yeah, you gotta. So okay, well, service to the devotee. See, it's like, well, so that's like, how do you engage this energy? Yeah, yeah. Well, I tell you, as far as preaching, yeah, if like if you're not like it's spontaneous and just preaching, like, I don't know, you might try it or something, see how it works. But I mean, one thing you could do practically is make videos. And there's so much creativity in what we already have here, and to put it out, make sayings and stuff out of these things, make little memes, of these sayings of the videos. I mean, I just did. I mean, yesterday I saw one thing. You listen to the thing, and you can write. You can make sayings of Goa Hari Das, and that's practical. That's real preaching. I mean, you could do that if you're. But how do you engage it? Why don't you engage it like that? Make videos, make a website. You know, uh, make it. You got a Rumble challenge. I mean, have you done any of that? Make a Rumble. I mean, people are preaching. You can preach this important message. I need distributors. To distribute this stuff. Can you make a Rumble challenge, Odyssey, and start putting these things or on YouTube, a YouTube channel, and making something, building some of this preaching. See, this is a way to engage your energy. How does that sound? Stuff like
Yes, I'm doing things a lot. Like there's an echo. Yeah, thanks. But it seems so chaotic. I'm sometimes I do this. I do classes. I'm reading. I'm listening here. But I miss a kind of um, it's it's very restless, very like my eyes they move to all kinds of sides.
Well, that's why I say if you ground it, do some service, man. You know, do some seva. You need to, you know, put your energy into something. Like here, you know, okay, you found a mission. Get behind the mission. You know, just that's why I say, you know, make a website. You know, make some videos. Get, you know, focus your mind on service, seva. See, and then I mean, that's a, I mean, do you think, I mean, or what else, what do you want to do for, what can you do for Krishna if you don't do that? Do you want to go out and preach it or, I mean, do you want to, I mean,
I feel
what do you want to do for Krishna?
I feel for me it's effective, it's efficient to have one-to-one contact with people. Have a walk or a talk, um, and when I'm in a group, or it doesn't that doesn't feel efficient. Um, it's it's like the attention is somewhere else. The attention is not on Krishna consciousness. It's like it's um, it's not clear. It's not clear when there are a lot of people doing their things. There's no focus.
All right, we'll talk more about that later. I can't get into a big analysis here at this time. So, okay, well, you know, I don't know, you know, Krishna will help you. Replying to do not, okay. All right, so Hare Krishna, everybody, and we'll see you soon. Thank you for coming.